this, Discord. Just so I can tell him I am in fact screaming. Alright. Let's get. I don't care about the full session capture. Did I? Record replay control F3. Okay, that's actually good to know. Okay, he's doing temporal then. Concentration. Let's go to mine. Boys, I can now see if anyone actually says anything in the chat. Okay. So, welcome back to another episode of The Forgotten City. If you recall, last time we basically find out that yes, we are more than likely dead and in the Hades, in the underworld. We met Karen. I don't mean the one that always throws a fit, I mean the ancient Greek ferryman of the dead. It was apparently also known in a lot of other mythologies, like Roman and Egyptian. I didn't know about the Egyptian one. Didn't think there was a ferryman of the dead. Okay. Oh. I was thinking then might actually have to... Okay. Ooh. What the heck is going on? Ooh. Hello. Well, that's not ominous at all. Mike? Oh. I can't... You mean I can't sprint backward? I haven't actually seen one actually... Pluto. Hades, Lord of Many, grant me an audience. Nergal, the fierce one, grant me an audience. Osiris, Lord of Science, grant me an audience. Pluto, Father of Riches, grant me an audience. Technically, these are all the same ones. They're all in the name of the Lord of the Underworld. Greek, Roman, Egyptian, the one before Egyptian. I can't remember. But let's go Pluto because the current era is Roman. Here we go. Why can't I not examine these people? Okay, thank you, little boys. Huh? Do I have to do one for each of them? Okay, let's go in order then. Oldest to greatest. Or, this is Egyptian. Is that in the... Yeah, that's Greek architecture. And then this is Roman architecture. Okay, so it's going through the different architectures. I'm glad I decided to go with Roman, because since that was the current era. Well, this past current era. This is obviously ancient Egyptian, so at this door I should speak Osiris's name. And then this is the one that the Egyptian fell on top of, the Greeks, and then the Romans. Nergal. Ah, that's bright. Wait, what? This looks modern. The heck? No, wait. This is space. What the heck? Did I just go through a doorway in space and time or something? What the? Oh, look at the detail of this. This is just amazing. It's like kinetic. I thought that was like Egyptian. Why is there statues here too? This is so trippy. You're the one who's actually been helping me? So wait, has it been Persephone this entire time? Or has it been Pluto? Okay, I'm saving the game. Wait, what?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names.
Persuade the god
Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians,
so this is the
Hades
god
to the
of
Greeks,
death.
and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal.
So his name is
Ever
just
since
God of
your
the Underworld.
birth. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so gracefully.
I'm from
There
the
will
future,
be time
dude.
for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
What's your story was as responsible for golden rule?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
So, why do you look and sound like a man? Who's your woman on the left? Who's on the right?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself.
So, what do you
No
consider
ancestors
yourself?
revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful.
Are you an alien
Just
then?
as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
So,
My
why?
kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time,
Yeah,
we
you're
grew
not
fond
from
of the
this
sensory
planet, then.
delights of the forms, desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while in a quiet taste can be addictive.
They see your true form?
No. Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Huh. Interesting.
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names.
So that's
Ereshkigal
Persephone.
to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpine to the Romans. Or
Ishkigal.
perhaps
I've
you
heard
might know
Ishkigal
her as the
before.
goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Ah, so it was Persephone who's been helping me the entire
Your gaze
time.
lingers too long.
Who's on your
That is
right?
my servant. You would have met by the river.
Oh,
though she
it's
wears
Karen.
many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to the Sumerians,
Kumutabal.
Kurti to the Egyptians,
Kurti.
Charon to the Greeks,
Charon.
and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and
Why
this
is she
one,
female
and to
then?
make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Okay.
As you wish.
So
It
what
has
is
come
this
to be known
place?
simply as the Underworld.
As the
It
Underworld.
exists because of a wager I made long ago.
Really? What was the wager?
That is a long story. One that began over
3,000.
3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium.
Elysium.
Search for
That's
other forms
a
of life among
realm
the
of the
stars.
gods.
We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpine saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture,
Why does it sound
toolcraft,
familiar?
and law. you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance.
I
This
do
time
like the
in
glowing
irony,
blue eyes. That's
my kin
cool.
had seen enough and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than enemies.
Oh, a bit
We began
rude.
preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind.
Huh.
And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a
That's
deep frozen
why.
sleep to prevent age.
I thought she looked like she was in some kind
And then I
of
pleaded with
box.
Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without
Elysium.
interfering.
Now I know where
and
I
to
heard
sit
that.
in silent judgment. And so my reward
I'll tell you one
is
time
then
this
to
actually
languish here,
stumps.
enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Okay, so I now have to remember where I've heard the term Elysium before. It's a realm in the underworld. And at least according to the Percy Jackson series, it's like the highest realm. The highest honor for anyone. You have to do like godly deeds almost.
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names.
Yeah, Greek
Our
names.
leader Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course,
I don't know the last
beloved
two.
Proserpina.
Vesta and Ceres.
As the
built
first
city?
wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build
Where
the
is
entrance as a
Sumer?
vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After
Hey,
another
thanks
1,000
for ever
years, the
joining.
Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were not forgotten.
Okay, so just to recap you, whoever joined in, I finished the obelisk, it opened up, and I had to speak each of the names. Pluto's, Hades, Osiris, and the Sumerian's version of the god of the underworld. This is him. There's a person on his right and left, and the person on his right is Persephone. I Sorry, it's easiest for me to know them in their Greek form, okay? Or Isis in her Egyptian form. But she's now mortal, and Hades here put her in a suspended animation to try and figure out a way to undo it. He's down here until, like, they can get at least a city to live in peace for 1 full year. And he's been waiting for 3,000 years. And there's a person on his left who is Karen, the lady that we met at the very beginning of the game. Karen. Chiron. Eh. Ferryman is dead. His kids he's not technically a god, but like to the humans, yeah, he would be a god. And now, yeah, we're in, the god's realm is Elysium, which in Greek mythology is basically a paradise for the dead. It's like the terrestrial kingdom, or terrestrial kingdom. Basically God's realm. Okay.
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time.
So we must have had some kind of silver coin. That's how that was chose.
As the tokens were discovered,
okay,
traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens.
Interesting.
In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for.
Only 2 remain.
Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind would have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone along with it.
Okay.
It is a regrettable story.
King
One of the first
Sumer.
men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priests' pursuit of profit.
Haven't heard that one.
Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape.
Interesting.
And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place. Though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Interesting. Okay.
Of course.
And we also found out that Persephone is, in fact, the one who's been whispering the entire time.
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians
there was a golden
city,
race.
The self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. A prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. All the women, too, were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold.
Huh.
Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal.
I can say
She
that.
prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat where she broke her neck.
Basically like a giant
But I was
pillar.
watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold.
So the bow
And
that
I
I
left her to
have,
stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended
that's
in time
harsh.
with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
Wow, that's a little harsh. So the golden bow that I have is a god's weapon. It is Diana, aka Artemis. It's
I
her
give your
golden
kind
bow.
a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my lord. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say,
You're the one who's
you
actually
destroy
turning us to
yourselves.
gold.
I am merely the means by which you do it.
Where do
When
golden
my
bows
kin
come?
departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply
Furies.
as Furies.
Okay. What do you consider
I've
sin?
always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added treat your inferior as you would wish your superior.
Treat others how
to
you
treat
want to be treated.
Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts. Each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
It's not easy to apply as it sounds. Doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
I didn't know when people
I'm
sin.
able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Is Persephone connected to
If she was
statues
still
in the
conscious,
same
I
way?
suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No,
Then what
isn't.
an odd question.
I've seen terrible things that you didn't consider a sin. How can you let them
Do you plan to
happen?
speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Price gouging for life-saving medicine, debt bondage, experiments on golden statues.
I have seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others.
I
However,
did just hear something.
therefore it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others.
Okay.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
Drawing von Gunn doesn't make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No, of course not.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
The only people say gods are cruel just shows how reliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule I've outlined?
You wouldn't want someone else to demand a righteous price for a medicine he needs to feel his
I
pain.
disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others, and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway.
You can't just know what he would expect, you'd speculate.
Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation.
Does it make it subject?
Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man.
And you think you know the minds of other people?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sin?
Debt
You speak
bondage.
of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
You wouldn't be trapped in a 30-year labor contract
And he
because
would
of a
never
loan.
have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you live from?
Some would take a loan to buy a house, and some places to pay for an
I see.
education.
And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
Sometimes their entire
I
life.
fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
It's not the same thing.
Supposing you're... Now tell me, the
Experiments on the
midwife in the
golden
palace,
statue.
yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want to be experimental.
The rule
She was
is do
doing
unto
it.
others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Now tell me, what other sin do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasped the right or wrong so perfect they can be present with all this power. You become a tyrant.
I should strike you down for that.
If you did, you'd be proving my point. But in this,
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning? Very
sometimes.
well. Good. And now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong.
What do
It
you
has
mean?
long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
Maybe you're getting forgetful in your old age.
You would have us believe that my servant merely forgot bringing you here.
I misspoke. I arrived here about 2,000 years.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Shouldn't you know this? As the god of the underworld, guess means you don't know everything that goes on here.
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I like you to put an end to the golden rule. I just want to get out here. I'm here to kill you. I'm here to kill you. Like, just to put an end to this thing.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
If you're doing this for love, you should know that Persephone doesn't love you. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself? Scrapping is ensuring you'll never win the wager.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
Didn't you abduct Persephone prisoner here? You prep people in the city against their will. You give them terrible punishments to hundreds of people for some minor sins, and some who committed no sins at all.
I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was dying, and I intervened the only way I could to save her life. What would you have done?
But didn't she choose to die?
It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did because I loved her. I love her still. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
Okay. What about this one?
These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist? Accordingly, I reject your argument.
Oh, now I don't even have the one to actually I'm going to kill
Every
you.
one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
But it's not fair to punish people for other people's sins. If they did not commit, it's not them who should be punished. Collective punishment is considered one of the most egregious crimes there is. If our positions were reversed, you won't want me to punish you for the sins of other people.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for
Some
their
people do,
well-being
yes.
with your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights? Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
What makes your kind superior to mine?
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal.
What makes your kind superior? That sounds like perhaps you're not as different from humans as you
Where
think.
to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine.
Why does women technology make you superior?
Because that is the source of our power over you.
So you think you're not obligated to free us fairly because you're more powerful than us?
You could say that.
I can't think of a term. It was from Roman Socrates said, treat your inferiors as you wish your superiors to
My
treat
kin
you.
have no superiors.
But didn't you say Jupiter was your leader? There's a hierarchy within your kin.
That is true. Go on.
So you're treating humans the way you would wish Jupiter to treat
Make
you?
your point, mortal.
I'm saying if you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to? That one's going to get very mad. I might do that in another playthrough, though.
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
It's a proof you committed atrocities and you need to own up to it. You're not a monster, you're human and you made a mistake.
Wait, what? What are you saying?
Humans make mistakes, it's in our nature. All humans have a tendency towards sin. We all do it sooner or later.
You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was
Hello, whoever joined in.
But that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that?
Perhaps he has made a mistake. He wanted you to abandon the wager so Persephone would be free from you. Perhaps he felt threatened by you and didn't want a potential challenger in Elysium. Because if your own kin didn't want you. Huh.
Perhaps. But if that was so, surely I would have sensed his deception. How could I have been so blind for so long?
You know, perhaps you're a monster on a pipe, but perhaps when you took on human form, you took on some human phobos? Blind by your love for Persephone, it's very human.
Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot deny it any longer. I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
We just want to return to the world. Why can't we go to Elysium?
Because doing so would violate the rules of my sacred agreement with Jupiter, and you would receive a hostile reception. The best I can do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time.
But it's Karen who wanted me to do this.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Farewell, mortal.
Yeah, it looks like she is in a box. A Herculean task. Create a time paradox. Hey, I was alive. Okay, so I no longer have the bow with me.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Lord, I came
Well,
in here to
here
find
I am.
you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I was hoping you knew who I am.
Know who you are? I barely remember how I got here myself. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment
No,
there, I
I
thought you
am.
were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Never actually did get to see what was in the aqueduct. Oh.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
I'm going to definitely do this again, try and find the different endings.
You're back!
Carolyn, huh?
You're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found
Oh,
he'll be here in a moment.
What a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
You know who you said you are. Remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might.
Interesting.
Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are
You
you
can
really?
just call me Charon, if you like. I'm sorry I was not completely honest with you when we
Karen.
first met.
Carolyn.
I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned
5,000
from
years.
5,000 years of experience that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought
So
you
I
here.
did die then.
My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yes, I want
As
to
you
know.
wish. You were murdered.
Oh, wow.
You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics,
Two super...
including 2 silver coins of ancient origin.
That's how I'm
Unfortunately,
still alive now.
as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty.
Was
You
the
both
hiker
fought
Al?
bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth.
Huh.
You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
Huh. Okay. But on the hand where the lasting system, what's that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is
Bereft.
nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Huh. So what's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river.
Hello, whoever joined.
Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Who mentioned a coin was the lasting system? What's that mean for
It
you?
means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here.
You return to the
I
land
see
of the
no
living?
point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now.
Oh,
Wow.
that's creepy.
It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was
Ooh,
a
he's
tablet
getting
describing
nasty
an oracle
gash
who
right
confronted
here.
a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright, Karen, ferry us home. Okay, I might actually just play this. Oh, 1 year later. Do I have my flashlight? No. Can you examine any of these? No. I'm guessing that's Al?
Hey, you made it.
Yeah. Huh.
Great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for the theories about the underworld.
Oh, I technically did keep it to
After everything you've
myself.
been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet. And I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
I swear the hand was moving for a second. Unknown men, insurrectable post, one hand seems to be welcome, the other hand warns. What the? Holy crap, it looks like Galerius!
Remember me?
What? Wait. So he was from the modern age? Was he?
It's a
How's
crazy story.
he?
After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the
How?
world. He even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you
That's
remember
interesting.
me,
I was not
I
expecting
wanted to
this.
say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
What are you doing with yourself these days? You're a queer now.
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
You're
I know.
queer.
I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged. and
Oh,
living together.
congratulations!
We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I love that. Good to
Of
see
course,
you again.
there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so
Wait.
you better keep moving.
Oh,
We'll speak again soon,
no
my friend.
way. The oracle symbol as many people as possible in the museum. Are all these...
Oh, hello.
Yeah, all these people are from the past.
You're here. It's so wonderful to see you again. So,
Oh,
you're
that's
the hero
cool.
who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing with
Galerius
yourself?
and I are engaged. And
Oh,
we're
she's
expecting. We've
pregnant!
just bought a lovely villa in the countryside
Oh,
with room for a
cool.
large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us.
Oh,
There's
this is
so
such a
much to
nice
learn,
ending.
and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
That's
Oh,
Sylvia.
sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that.
See you at
Good
the
to see
wedding,
you.
I hope.
She doesn't look pregnant, but
There
it
he
said
is.
that. Huh. She was abducted by Blue and forced into marriage against her will.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
I remember
Galerius said
who
you're
you
very
are.
nice and a big helper. Thanks for getting us out
Oh,
of the
hey,
barracks.
thanks for joining, man.
I didn't like it.
So, we found Pluto, and we convinced him to get rid of the Golden Rule and to return us to the land of the living. Charon does a favor and returns back to civilization, and now we're at the museum. This is 1 year later, and all the people from the past that we've helped are actually here in the modern times, and I'm talking to them. So that's actually pretty cool.
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house.
Equatia.
They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Well, it was
Bye-bye.
very nice to see you again.
It's you.
It's all the things from the past.
Hey,
Horatius! Hey man!
Hi there,
You're
I'm Horatius.
military.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Centilla with us as well.
So she was in the future.
Thank you.
So you never got to see your girl again. Whatever happened to your buddy in Dummertus?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, As those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever. Thanks. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome.
MMA?
It appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it.
That's sad.
You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword. You're not wrong. And you. Farewell.
Hey.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see
Actually,
you.
I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But
So
he's
that's
been
where
dealt with.
she was.
You know what? The important thing is we'll never see him again.
I wonder if I can go back. I might do that off stream. See if I can go somehow find my way into the system, but I don't know how to do that.
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there.
Alexa.
Barbarians everywhere. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
So one got the golden...
Meh, I try not to think about him at all.
Oh,
You too.
Cynthia. Okay.
See you around.
So that was the other magistrate.
Hi there.
Oh, I recognize you.
You're the Oracle, right? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And
Oh,
of
she was the
course,
poison lady.
getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
So what are you doing
I
these
barely
days?
recognize myself. I'm
I
living
know,
in a
so do
house share
I.
in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually I want to travel the world and write
So
about
she's
it.
gay.
Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you
Oh,
can
yeah.
travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
So whatever
Last I
happened to
heard,
Malleolus?
Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I assume
Thank
that's a
you.
very mean
You're very
word.
kind.
You can write what it means in chat if you want.
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
She's gonna get what she deserves. I foresee terrible disappointment in
Really?
her future.
I feel better already. Thank you. You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
I'll take
I
you up
hope
on
so.
that. Oh, you were the
You are
healer.
here. It's nice to finally meet you. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago,
That's
they
true. They
never leave
would
us alone.
never leave them
Speaking
alone.
of
They'd
which,
probably also
I wanted to
dissect
say
them.
thank you in person. I'd
Trying to
say
figure
the
out
gods
how.
smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So
What are you
I'm
doing?
studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. You too, don't be a stranger.
Okay, so there's those guys.
Magnificent museum, is it not?
Demeanor. Persephone. Hey! It's a fashion guy!
Greetings, my friend. It is a sincere pleasure to see you once again.
Good to
I
see you
am
too.
told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
What are you doing with
I am
yourself?
reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won. You too, my friend.
So, who's this lady then? Paprika.
You're
Oh!
here. It's so good to see you.
The one I saved from the collapsing temple.
I wanted to
Oh,
say thanks
cool.
for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes
Oh, you're
while
a baker.
binging TV shows on yoga pants. What a time to be alive. Thank you. I really am. You too.
Greetings.
Oh, it's a bathtub. A centric bed? What? Converted into a rather... yeah. Who's this guy?
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
I know that I haven't talked to every
and
single
by
person.
The way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never
Is he
thought I'd
one
leave
that-
that cave, let alone the city.
Probably
Now
one of the
I'm
guys that
living
went
in the
missing.
21st century. What a time to be alive.
Because I thought
And
that
it
I've talked
seems
to
I have a
everyone
Petabasis
before.
to thank for it.
Petabasis?
I'm working as a consultant for
Oh,
the
wait,
Faculty of
no!
Classics at
It's
Cambridge
that guy
University,
that was
helping
down
fill the
in
odd gap
the
in
Egyptian
knowledge.
part
Not
of the
that I need
plaque.
the money,
Or,
but
no,
I
the
do
mystery.
love being around
Yeah, the
my weak
Egyptian
mind
mystery
again.
plaque. That's right. I think I
You
remember you, because
that?
we never got his
I
name.
have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
We'll get there one day.
I hope so. My sincere thanks once again.
Some soiree, innit?
Please keep all the furniture in clean hands. Can damage the fragile surfaces of these rare places. Oh!
Oh, hello at last. You must be the oracle I heard so much
Businessman
about.
that I hate
I'm
so
Daisius.
much.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
The only thing was entirely unintended.
Big win. I love it.
So what are you doing?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I can't really see the future. I wouldn't help you even if I could. This is like the one guy we actually hate.
I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future. Everything is a lie. It's gonna be the next big thing. Print media is gonna make a huge comeback. DVD rentals.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune.
No, you're not.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips,
That's
my friend.
funny.
Good evening.
Hello there.
Greek Lane statue. Ooh, oh!
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about
You're the
you.
one by the obelisk.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
We're doing
I'm living in
so.
Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. I'm not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor.
Oh, that's actually a
After you
good
sent
thing.
Valerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people.
Huh.
Like you helped him.
Oh, well done, lady. Noble cause. Good on you.
That means a lot. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Oh, of course.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
So, oh, you're the crazy
Greetings.
lady.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
Huh. I guess a modern world would be like Elysium to them, wouldn't it?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Oh, good for her.
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of all of it, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century.
Wow, that's
and
impressive.
I'm quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a
Edgar
kindred
Allan Poe.
spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. And you, farewell, friend.
How many more people are there?
What is
Hey! Believed to be Egyptians to ferry the deceased to the underworld, associated with death and Cyrus, god the underworld. Man ran who Kabesh saw when he awoke by the river. Yeah.
Plundered any more tombs lately, my friend?
Not recently, no. Good to see you too.
I must say,
I am ashamed of the way I acted when we first met.
I wonder what would have happened if I
had
turned
known
him
you
into
would go on
gold.
to confront and triumph over the tyrant masquerading as the Lord of Silence, I would never have blocked your passage.
That worked out in the end.
You are most gracious. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths, and
so you're traveling around the world.
It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
42 sins? Yeesh.
Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
Hey, Statue of Anubis!
Hello there.
Who are you? Oh, Scintilla.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
I still need to find her in one of my playthroughs.
You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
You gotta turn golden.
Don't worry, nobody did. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I just do that.
Thanks. You too.
Hi.
Table. Oh!
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
What are you doing?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad you're happy, Nate.
I...
Oh yeah, you'd be dead. I've seen you die a few times.
You too.
Evening.
Hi.
Hello.
There you go. Oh.
We meet again, my friend.
Oh yeah, the gay guy. I remember you.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Good to see you.
Oh, I remember you.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for telling Galerius how to treat my rheumatism. I probably would have lost my mind if it wasn't for that willow bark. Although I think your people have a different name for it. Aspirin, I believe.
Oh, that's funny.
Thank you. Really. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
That's really worth watching us.
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world.
Oh, that's
Security
funny.
cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
That's unfortunately true.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
Okay, now what? Ooh. Wait, this looks like it's in Paris. But I don't think that is... Hey, it's that plaque that we found. Why can't I expect that? Why can't I expect that? I need like a flashlight. Statue of Lamassu, a Sumerian protective deity with human head, a bull's body, and wings. So it's like a sphinx then. Sumerian plaque. The sins of the one shall become the sufferings of the many. Oh, that's irony for you. Suitcase. Huh. There you go, the first fierce one. Okay, I want to make sure that that didn't trigger anything for me. Almost walked past to where the laws of the day help the virtuous to bring paradise in the city beneath the earth. The ravenous hunger of avaricious is sated at the banks of the stream, but in vain, for none from here may return. These are all artifacts from Secret Symbol of their faith. I still don't remember ever seeing something like that. At least in modern religion. But it's so cool that you've seen things from, like, in the past game, or in this game. Okay, so that's everything for here.
There you are.
Oh, there's Al.
Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce
cool.
you to. I think you know her.
Sorry
Hey!
if I frightened you. Just
So
for some
that's gotta be
sake, I've been saving
Persephone.
for a long, long time.
I recognize the voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Persephone, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You're whispering to me all the time.
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You're very good, thank you. So you created a time loop.
I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
What
I don't
became
know what
of
happened to
him?
him. I haven't heard from him. and I rather hope it stays that way.
Huh.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind.
Interesting.
She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again.
Probably when I die I will.
I imagine we all will. One day.
Oh,
And
it's
you.
nice meeting you.
Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Yeah.
Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Reach ending for 4. Huh. Press escape to continue. Modern storyteller. Okay. Whoa. If you guys want to see me actually do another playthrough of this where I go and try and get all the other endings, and even if you don't, I actually might just do that myself and just post them as actual uploads instead of going live. Because this stuff takes a long time to do. This was what? About 8, almost 10 hours? That's just for one ending. I might actually just continue to do this, so that's actually quite good. Can I skip this? Skip to continue. We hope you enjoyed. Oh. Alright. Okay, I want to just see where it actually keeps me at right now. Because I might actually just go right to the cistern then. Okay. Run away from this terrible fate. Okay, good. I can come back to this point then. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to go to the cistern and see if I can open that up before I end the stream, because I want to just try and get her out there. Oh, that's going to kill me. Oh. Well, that was unexpected. Did not mean to do that. I thought that would land me in the water, to be honest. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. So, one gets turned into a golden statue at the end, the other gets locked in an insane asylum for saying he's a Greek leader. I mean, technically he ain't wrong. Well, Greek/Roman leader, I should say. Can you take those out now? Oh. Huh. Why did I keep on just dying? I should really stop doing that. Maybe I should not run when I try. Nope. I'm trying to take the shortcut way down. I guess I'll try and just go the regular way. It's a little bit annoying. I mean, I don't know. Well, actually, I bet if you're probably like the military guy, you could technically probably kill the assassin with the gun long before that he could actually get to you. There we go. Okay, let's see. I should have the key to the aqueduct, catacomb, upper cistern. Yes. Below the great temple must be key. Bow. Villa. Okay, well, let's see if I can actually just get to the cistern and actually just unlock it. That's a good place to get a lot of money. Yes? Yeah, I can do that. I'm actually just going the stream right now, sadly, but I will continue this the next time. I actually just have to help my dad do something, unfortunately. Apparently we're getting a new TV. Don't know why, because as far as I know, all of our TVs work just fine. But that's gonna be it for this time. Until then.